What's good, family? You know who it is. It's your favorite cousin, and I'm back with another powerful conversation. I believe this is our 5th sit-down interview with the original Black Panther Party, and every time they pull up, you know what's up. The city listens. So tonight we're going to be talking unity, respect, how to build a community from the inside out, especially in a world where folks argue harder on TikTok than they do in real life. So we also go tap into the heavy stuff, the gender divide, social media matrix, recent corruption claims inside the Norfolk Police Department. And he also said today the reckoning begins, and we're going to break down what that means. So let's lock in. And y'all know what time it is. So I did something different this time.
Yes, sir.
You know, I had a nice little intro for us.
Hey, it was beautiful.
You know, so okay, I appreciate it.
Got me ready for it. All right.
But before we get started, though, I do got some stuff I want to ask, man, because
Yes, sir.
it was brought to my attention by a friend of mine. And he was like, man, you interviewing the Panthers today, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, okay, well, I got a question for you to ask him. I'm like, oh, okay. And it was about the Somalian immigrants.
Yes.
Yes, they were immigrants. He said they were claiming they weren't black. And then, you know, they were showing their unity to Trump.
Right.
He basically turned on them.
Sure.
And now they want black people's help.
Right.
And he was like, man, find out what his thoughts is on that, man, and unity and stuff like that. So what is your thoughts on things like that when we have these groups who want to separate from us? You know, when things hit the fan, now they're like, hey, come help me.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right. And it may be a harsh truth, but you know, I'm not going to say we're only black here in America, but we're only black here in America. You know, there are other black people in other places. We know that.
Definitely.
But they all have a nationality that they belong to, a nationality that they go by. That's why it's really important. We have those, what do you call them? Reveal parties for DNA, right? And we love tapping back in with our African ancestry. So that you'll know where you belong to and what group and party you are a part of. Now, with that said, the individuals that want our help are similar to the ones that were having the riots out in California when some of our Latino brothers and sisters was out there doing whatever, and you know, different things was going on with them. And when you know they vote for Trump. You know, the next thing you know, right. The next thing you know, here he comes. He turns on them, and then they're saying, "Well, we're discriminated against too. We should join the fight." Everybody wants us to join their fight, trying to equate some type of discrimination. Yeah. But once the fight is over and they get what they want, they leave us.
Yeah, kind of like the women's rights thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They leave us. You know, all these different groups. That's what happens. We join their fight. And then when they get to where they want to be, they disappear. And then we're still fighting for the rights that we don't even have, right?
Yeah.
So I guess in short, the answer to that would be, they just got to deal with the consequences. They learn from their mistakes as we have and keep on moving. Now, that doesn't mean close down unity. You know, sure, we always need to keep the door open and unite with our black brothers and sisters. But to be moving around and helping them and joining them with different things when they've abandoned the culture, and they don't want to be a part of the culture, no, I don't see that as a thing we should do.
So we should do like Bernie Mac said, his words. F them!
Okay. Well, handcuffs on and crazy glue on their lips. I remember that. Yes, sir.
That part, man. All right, and then I also had another question too, man. Another one of my buddies, good friend of mine, friend of me. We go back and forth all the time. COP, he asked me before you got here, he was like, well, man, how many chapters is it, man? How many people is with the original Black Panther Party? And I was like, bro, I don't know. I thought I asked you that the first time we interviewed. But then he said, you know, I'm becoming a little bit larger now. I'm more of a household name now. Yeah. So in his words,
yes, sir.
How deep is the Black Panther Party?
I give the same answer every time people ask. I'm not comfortable with telling people live because of security risk issues. But I can tell you we have a lot of people across the United States. I wouldn't say it's as big as in the 70s. You know, I wouldn't say that, but I would say that it's very, very large, and we can get a lot of work done across the nation.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know what they try to do with COINTELPRO. You know, they like to count numbers. And then when they count your people, now they say, oh, that's what we need to wipe them out. So yeah, I don't give those numbers. Yes, sir.
Respect to that. All right, so now they got those out the way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get right into it.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? So
I always love it.
First interview to now.
Yes, sir.
How's the mission of the original Black Panther Party changed, and what's stronger now than it was before?
The mission is still okay. So we always fight for inequality, against inequality, racism, oppression, things of that nature. But now the fight is a lot of times within our community, within our own people. You know, we do still get a lot of death threats from, you know, white folks and all that, but we also get a lot of love from them as well. But our black folks, we get a whole lot of love from. But the mindset of some of our people in the community, the mindset of our culture, some of the things that we've adapted into our culture that are no good, has been the uphill battle.
Speak on some of those things.
Some of those things like the no snitching policy, right?
Do people even really understand what that means?
They don't.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Okay, gotcha.
That's the thing. They don't understand what it actually means, and depending on who you talk to, you have a different definition. You know, for me, it's always, and I think this is actually what it is. But if me and you are committing a crime, and I turn you in exchange for something for myself, then I'm snitching on you.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I thought it was.
Right. That's what I know it is. Right.
Okay.
But some people will say, if you're telling in any sort of manner or cooperating with law enforcement, you're snitching. Now, as a civilian, you should be able to say what's going on in order to make sure your neighborhood is better.
Because I don't live by that code. I don't live by the street code.
Right. If you're not in that environment, then you're a civilian. Right. Snitching was a thing that was for people that was involved in something else. Yeah. That's where you end up with bad situations like somebody saying, you got a serial killer next door, or a child molester next door, would you tell on them? And you say something like, nah, I might move. You know what I'm saying? Right? Hey, shout out to Cam. I love Cam. But, and I know he's learned from that, but I'm just saying, it's, you get things like that when you're in that mindset of, going through it. So we have to stop that. We can't just consistently say, you see this over here happening, this over there. And then, it's such embedded in us as, I don't want to be a snitch. I don't want to be a tattletale.
Until it happened to you.
Right, until it happened to you. Now
you're like, hey, man, y'all ain't going to do nothing.
Right. But our communities are falling apart. What are you going to do? And then us as black people, we tend to have a savior complex. So we're always looking for somebody to save us, whether it's black folks, white folks, government, whoever. But we're looking for somebody to save us. So it's like, well, why don't y'all come in here and do this and that? You live right there, but you won't call the folks. You see what I'm saying? You won't do this, that, and the third. So, and we don't want our brothers and sisters, I don't want that to be the first thing you have to do. I mean, it's good to try to talk to a brother, a sister, whatever. Hey, stop selling the poison or whatever, or doing whatever you're doing in the neighborhood. Do that somewhere or whatever you're gonna do, but don't do it over here, or whatever you can say. But if they continuously do it, what's next? What's next? You gonna just let the whole thing get affected, or you gonna keep,
As long as it ain't bothering me, I'm sure.
Right. My pockets, this, that, and the third. So we have to take some sort of accountability for ourselves. The same thing with, what do you call it? Government assistance and things of that nature. If you need it, fine. Use it for what you need it for. Jump off of it. Okay. Because now you see when they start to threaten so hard to take it away, threaten so hard to pull this back and take this away.
Put the
now,
2-year cap on it.
Right. Now you sit there like, what I'm going to do? No, it's what you should have been doing. Striving to, because all it does is put a ceiling above you. You can't go above a certain amount unless you're doing something under the table.
So my question for that would be, because when I see stuff like that, I would look at it as more people use it as a security blanket than actually help. Because it's like if I have 5 or 6 children, You know, I'm getting, I don't know how much they get, $700 in food stamps a month.
Right.
I'm getting help paying my rent. I'm getting free medical.
It makes no sense to work.
Why would I want to work making $12 an hour and now I have to pay for all this stuff out of pocket?
Absolutely, and that's where we have to go to the. That's where we have to go to the economic side, and we gotta say, look, we have to have better wages for our people, you know, and not just all of America, but our black people especially, because we know they are underpaid in most situations. So what we're trying to do is, we need to have we need to lobby for that, equal wages and things of that nature, and you know, that also comes with who you also put in office, who you vote for, and things of that.
So, and real quick, I don't want to get too far from the question. Do you think that has to do with mindset of people also?
Absolutely.
Because sometimes we'll be saying, I want another job or I want a better job, but we'll go look and we won't go for the jobs that are paying $70,000, $80,000 a year because we may feel we're not qualified for them, which most of them may even train you.
Yeah. You
know, so you can have that job.
Sure. Yeah, I think you have to have a certain self-esteem and confidence about yourself and your skills and what you're willing to do. You also have to know yourself. You know, maybe that's not for you, but regardless of what, you have to be self-sufficient at some point. You cannot continue to be relying on the government, because at any given moment they will take it away.
Oh yeah, they're showing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And so I guess for the second part of the question, what's stronger now within the party too that wasn't maybe as strong before?
Oh man,
I know y'all got a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I would say the presence and the coverage to allow us to reach certain avenues is stronger. That's been a beautiful thing. We've been able to reach so many people, just across the United States and even abroad. So it's been really, really, really strong presence, especially online. We've been our pages have been up and haven't been tampered with and things like that. Our website is doing a lot better. And General Zuri, she actually did like these campaigns of just posting and really looking at algorithms and dissecting how all that works. A lot of people don't know it's a science to stuff like that.
Listen,
yeah,
still learning that thing.
Yeah, so, she was able to really do a whole lot with that and get stuff pushed out to where so many people were hearing about us. We were getting hundreds of applications in at a moment. So
sweet.
Without revealing, there's another number for you.
No, I don't even want to know. All right, so let's go here. In one of the other posts, you said unity starts at home.
Yes.
Right, but in 2025, we got folks beefing on TikTok, Instagram,
sure,
Facebook, everything. It was like, especially dealing with online. How do we begin to rebuild the unity when we have things like social media basically running the relationships?
What do you mean by that?
Like, if you go online, you see the 50-50 beef, the men versus women, men don't need women, women don't need men, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. And I don't want to go too far into that because that's going to lead us to my next question.
All right.
But, just things like that where people are basically turning to the internet for their, I guess, relationship advice and things like that, when it's really a case-by-case basis, I guess.
No, you're right. I think that's, as good as technology is, it makes you mentally lazy. To an extent.
That is
right. Instead of really reading and dissecting certain things, it's at a click of a button to where anything you find. Some people don't even go to Google or any type of situation. They go straight to Facebook or, like you said, TikTok, whatever. And a lot of that, you can't just trust anybody with any information because a lot of people have an agenda. They may have a different situation going on with their home life, and now they want
time.
Right now they want everybody to do like they do. There's no. I just think the foundation has to be there. When you have a foundation that is very secure and strong, and you got all your pillars set up so the roof don't come down type situation, then that's when you're able to now put things together and put them together with a purpose. When you don't have those things set and your foundation is shaky, you kind of fall for anything. You know, you start to, oh yeah, well, you know, we do this, we do it this way, we do it that way, and you know, you're working off of something that's not for you. If you don't make a certain amount of money, and you're listening to a person that says 50-50 ain't whatever, right? This isn't in your, it's not in your ballpark or budget or whatever, and you dating, I guess you could consider dating outside your means or whatever you're trying to do. Yeah, when you're trying to do all these different things, you have to make your relationship work for what you two have. You know, if you're only making a certain amount, and that woman even wants to see that man struggle so hard that she would rather sit at home just to say they're not in a 50-50 so that he can go, he don't get to spend no time with her. He out breaking his back trying to pay this mortgage or the rent or whatever it is. And she could just sit there and do whatever and be comfortable with that. Well, you have a problem there within itself, you know? So in the home. Yeah, in the home. You know, because why would she want to see that man just killing himself, breaking his back? You know what I'm saying? He's dying every day, can't get home. He don't even get to see the house. You know, he out there working so hard, he don't even see the house.
You just pull up.
Yeah.
All right, going to the next job.
Fall asleep in the parking lot and all that. You know, new furniture, he ain't even know was there. He goes straight past the door to the bed. He don't know nothing. Oh, so yeah, when you have situations like that's a problem. You know, so I think it is the responsibility of the man to try to alleviate and pay for as much of the bills as possible. Do the man's part. Yes, I think he should definitely do that. But everything is growth, and you have to grow together. People always talk about building empires and things of that nature. If you're going to build an empire and a kingdom, you got to build it. Some people just trying to walk straight into the castle. You can't just, right. So, you know, it depends. You know, every relationship is different. Every situation is different. Everybody's money is different. So work what you got to work that, you know, whatever works for you in order to get you to where you need to be.
Okay. And so that leads me to my next question, which is about the gender war, actually. You know, women don't need men, men don't need women, right? All of that. How do we actually break that chain and get black women and men on the same team? Now, I do want to say this, too, before you answer that. If you're not outside, what happens online is way different. Because when you actually go outside, you don't see as much of the men and women going at each other as it would seem like that's what's happening, you know, when you're online. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do we...
So let me ask you.
Differentiate that.
Is that clickbait or is it true? Because, like you said, there is a war online that you see. But when you're out in real life, you don't see it. So is this something people do just to get likes, views, and the entertainment side of things? Or do they really believe it?
I think it's going back to that... Actually, you know what? If I'm being real, I think it's a little bit of both. So I think what happens, especially with the men versus women thing, is that it's something that is seen as a youth, right? Okay. So if you never seen your parents or whoever raised you have a healthy relationship, then 9 times out of 10, I believe they're going to give you bitter information. So, and I always say bitter biddies raise bitter biddies. You know what I mean? And what'll happen is, you know, you'll have this, and, you know, let's say someone they talking to do something wrong. They be like, hey, let me tell you something. Men ain't blah, 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 blah. Don't ever mess with, you know what I'm saying? Don't ever do nothing for a man, such and such, such and such. And then you'll have other guys tell us the same thing. You know, I'm sure you experienced as a shorty growing up, and they, hey, man, don't be out here spending money on these bees and such and such. And so that carries on with you. And then what happens is when you add the internet to it, and everyone wants to use their platform to try to go viral
in the music,
or that too, and just have a moment. They'll take that information and put it out there, even if they're not living that way. Right. You know what I'm saying? Prime example. Well, I can't say prime example, but from the optics of it, if you look at people like Glorilla, Meg, they're completely different. When they're at home with their men, than what they talk about in the music or what they put out there. So I think it may be a both type thing. But
Yeah, because Snoop, same thing.
in the streets, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one. He's the main one. You know, bees ain't this, but you know that and tricks and all that
for like 30-some years.
Right. So that's what. And see, once again, when we talk about people who are, like I say, that's what you consider a sellout. Mm-hmm. When you sell, when you give, and I'm gonna explain this because when you give information to millions of people that you know is false for your own personal benefit, that is no different than somebody giving up their partner, giving up their partner at a bank robbery, and you go tell on them for what? Personal benefit.
Gotcha.
Right? It's self-preservation. All you're doing is taking care of you and your family, but you're gonna lead millions into dysfunction. You see what I mean?
So we can call out Future and
all of them.
Jeezy and all them too.
Yeah,
like, hey,
all of them.
You're telling me to keep trapping, but your son in private school.
Right.
Okay.
Now, now there are rappers that tell both sides of the story, you know, and they really risk their life to do what they did. Now those, hey, you just telling your story at that point. I really don't got a problem with it. You know what I mean? Because you actually risked your life. You know, risked penitentiary chances. You did what you did out there. You telling your story, and and most of them that really did it tell both sides. Okay. The ones that just glorify and whatever else, yeah, it's WWE at that point, right?
I got you.
So, yeah, with the gender, I think that you have to get to the point where we have to use as a people, we have to use common sense. You know, what woman doesn't need a man? You know, what are you gonna do? You gonna be by yourself, or you plan on not procreating, or you gonna what are you gonna do?
As Charles Dwight said, man, you know, the government, they daddy, the police,
and that is true. So, that is true. You know. That is true. So if you're, but look at the circumstance. So if, like I said, if you got the government providing for you, and see, that's the thing, our people now are so concerned with money, they forget about the things that really matter. They miss the whole ship. They miss love. They miss out on very few people get to experience true love, true relationship, true, you know. And a lot of people, love don't pay no bills. If that's all you're looking for, because you don't own nothing for real. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you're looking for. You looking for somebody to, you know, come in, the government, they can help you pay this thing. All you doing is getting money to give money. That ain't even living. At that point,
you're just surviving at that point.
That's it. So that's what we talk about with the mindset. So if people, if their mindset is on a certain thing like finances and that's it and whatever else, they're missing the whole ship. They, you know, and a man, what is he gonna do without what is he gonna do without a woman? And what, you gonna just keep going chasing out there in the streets, at the clubs, and you just gonna do that forever?
Sip on that one.
Yeah, right. What are you really gonna do?
I think that's what the thing that most people miss. I think that because that's the thing to speak about, that people will say it on air,
right?
Behind closed doors, it's a different feeling.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Because, you know, as a former skirt chaser, you know what I'm saying? As a former skirt chaser,
yes, sir.
I do know at the end of the night, you know, you can have all the women in the world.
It's a lonely life.
When you go home at night, you still like, man, I wish I could be laid up under something.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's definitely a different feeling.
And it's lonely, that life, because you can never really tell any of them the truth. You know, and if you do, none of them really respect you like that because, you know, they know they're not special on any type of. So when you're doing that, you gotta want more for yourself. And if you don't want more for yourself, then you're gonna remain stagnant in the same position.
That's true. Yeah. All right. So speaking on still stand on the line of respect. You know, one of the things I wondered, even after I watched your post about the unity of things like that, one of the questions that popped up for me was, how do we get back to respecting each other when so many people today don't even respect themselves?
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of hard for me to be like, okay, I'm going to respect you, and you don't even have your own self-respect. So how do we get past that point?
That's a real tough question because everybody's at a different level. we have to get back to a form of humility without looking at that as being a weakness.
Okay.
We have to get to a point of, you remember there was a time when we had the Afro pick with the fist on it, right?
I still got one.
Right, okay. The African medallions we used to wear.
I still got one.
There we go. Okay. There was a time when we had pride within our culture and our race.
I remember that.
We don't have the pride anymore in our own culture or our race. We walk around calling each other YNs and, of course, niggas or whatever, the B's, for the women, bad B's and all these different types of things. If you start out at a low level of degrading your brother or your sister or yourself, mentally you've already lost. You can't, you don't fully have an understanding of who you are when you start with the degradation of yourself. So it has to be a mindset switch at some point. We have to get to a point where we're able to say that we really truly love each other and know what that means. We have to know that we are dope without the material, clothing, cars, and whatever else. We can't let that keep making us.
Yeah.
See, we strive so hard to have these material things as if they matter, to show other people that don't got them that we got them. Right? We only impress other people that don't have them. You ain't impressing the white folks with that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going out there with whatever you got to impressing them with it.
Yeah.
You're flossing in the hood somewhere.
They tell you, I'm doing it to stun on y'all brokers.
You see, right.
Y'all brokies, what y'all ain't got. Like,
right. But at the end of the day, and what? Like, you should be building other things. There's more important things than that. And until we understand that, we're gonna stay in that mindset.
Definitely.
So
okay. So now I got switching gears completely here.
Okay.
But still stand on the respect topic. Let me see how I can word this. I don't like the way I worded it originally.
It's all good.
All right. Okay. So do you think your chapter pushes discipline, protection, and self-defense because it forces people to rebuild their confidence and self-respect?
You talk about organization?
Yes.
Yes, I think it's needed in our community. If you see a lot of videos that are online, are people just wilding out, crashing out, claiming demon time, things like that. If you have,
they see a real demon.
Right.
Okay.
Right, so they meet one.
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't have any self-restraint or you can't critically think in hostile situations, you start to
in the military.
Right.
Yeah.
You start to resort or lower yourself almost to the likes of an animal. You see what I mean? Because if you can't critically think, that's what makes us superior over, the other animals and things like that. Because we can critically think, right? We can do different things.
Supposed to.
Right. Supposed
Gotcha.
to. Right.
Gotcha.
But if we can't think even, and we can get so upset, and a lot of that happens, without having, a lot of brothers don't have the man in the house, and they're emotionally activated.
Yeah.
So it becomes hard when you have a group of people that can't critically think, and now they're making snap decisions that put them right in the penitentiary or in under the ground and things like that. You have to be able to unite, critically think, and be able to support one another. In certain situations, you got to have these things. Otherwise, you're gonna fall each time.
Definitely. Okay. And so, your women's self-defense program and the youth programs, so they're starting to get more attention. How have you seen like the efforts of these actually change help change the people and the mindset in the community around them.
Yeah,
so like, what's the?
It gives just like what you talk about with the military, but even when they send people to like a karate class or taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, anything, Muay Thai, whatever, there's always a structure, right? So a lot of times what we lack is structure. And when you don't have the structure in the home, you need the structure somewhere. That's why a lot of our people either get it from the military. Some people get it from, they went to ROTC, maybe they went to one of the karate classes or something like that, or the penitentiary, right? They come out structured, or worse than when they went in, right? So but the structure is needed, right, for our people. So we have to have that. We have to have some form of structure, and that's where I think the self-defense classes, we have a community self-defense class, and then we do self-defense all the time, just teaching it and making sure that we're ready. But it really, I can see the kids, their confidence coming up. Okay. The bullying and stuff starts to go away. The women feel more confident, feel more safe, because a lot of there's a excessive amount of weak men around that are just hitting women and attacking women and doing things that we just it wasn't prevalent, at least, or it wasn't part of the norm to do back in the day. But there's a lot of it going on, and those classes I could see transforming them and making them feel a lot safer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so do you think that builds up the confidence and stuff like that too?
Absolutely. You know how good it feels to walk around and just, in certain scenarios, not that it couldn't happen, not that you couldn't got or whatever, but to know I think I'm gonna be pretty okay in most situations, especially
get away.
Yeah, or something, or you'll handle it, But to know that you can critically think, you can also make sure your adrenaline persists a little bit. It calms down. Your heart's not just thumping out your chest. You can get all those butterflies to line up in a nice little V shape and just fly straight. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you just to know that you have that going on, and you can deal with a situation. It's a beautiful thing, and it does lift your confidence.
Okay, so let's switch gears one more time. Let's get to some of the stuff.
Okay.
So if you had to name one of the biggest threats, and originally I said Norfolk, but I want to say in the 7 cities, or just the black community period.
Okay.
Right now, what do you think they would be?
The biggest threats to the black community?
Yeah. Or, you know what, two. Okay. I don't know if I said two and I had to look at the question again. But yeah.
At this point, sad to say, but it's the mentality.
Okay.
The biggest threat is our mentality. If and I'm not saying that everybody's going to think alike, but we have to we got to at least be in the same book. I ain't gonna say we even got to be on the same page, but we got to at least get in the same book. Okay. The mentality is sometimes it's crazy. It's really off. We got to definitely me personally, I don't drink, I don't smoke, or anything like that. I always believe that you want to keep your mind as sharp as possible in all situations, right? If anything comes up, whatever it is, I don't want to say I made this decision because I was messed up or whatever I did with it. I want to make sure I could always critically think, So that I see a lot of people are people on substances and things of that nature, right? Not saying they're addicted to them, but it's a regular thing for them.
We'll call it recreational.
Recreational, right? Yeah,
recreational usage,
right? So you have that, and then you have the some of our people refuse to educate themselves. So when we talk about things like them tearing down the museums or taking out history or whatever the case may be, well, it shouldn't really matter at the end of the day, because it's up to us to teach our own history to our own people, and it's up to us to pass that down to each generation that comes after us. So these are things that we should be doing, that you see other cultures doing. Why would we just let that go? We're always, and that's what I was talking about with the savior complex. we're always looking for, oh, well, you know, we need the government. Why don't they do this for us or do that for us? There's a lot of stuff we need to do for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That way no one can take it from you. When you build it yourself, do it yourself, when you pass it down, no one can take it from you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Definitely.
So it's almost like if you memorize a book. They can burn the book 100 times. So what? You got to memorize.
Oh,
right?
Book Eli.
There you go. There you go.
You know what I mean? So speaking of that though, with the the savior thing and trusting the government, what are your thoughts on now where it seems like the current president is basically trying to erase the slavery and things like that from the curriculum as if it never happened?
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts on that?
The first thing a conqueror does when they invade a continent or a country, right? Mm-hmm. The first thing they do is what?
They whitewash and destroy.
Burn the library. Get rid of all the artifacts. Replace them with their own, right? It's one of the first things they do. It's in at least the top, 3? Right? So they capture the people, ravage the women, burn the libraries.
They say burn them all down.
Burn it all down.
Gotcha.
Right? So when you take the current president and he displaces your history, pulls it away from you, and he knows if you don't know it yourself, then how is your son and your son's son and your son's son and daughters and whoever, how are they gonna ever know it? Sooner or later, and see, this is forward thinking, right? This isn't, sometimes when we get in a position to where we live day to day, check to check, we only think about tomorrow. Mm-hmm. When you have other individuals that are your enemies that are out there thinking about 200, 300 years from now, cementing their name in the books 200, 300 years from now to preserve their culture, their race, right? So 200, 300 years from now, if they took all that out, you may have black folks that won't even think that we was ever enslaved. Yeah. They never know.
They still know about the Holocaust, though.
Oh yeah, that'll be there. That'll be there. That'll be there. Museums and everything. Yeah. That'll be there. This, no, what you talking about? And then next thing you know, what happens? You repeat it. Just like history has now consistently repeated the structure of slavery to today. Repeated the structure of slavery over and over and over again.
Break it down for us.
Yeah, they just give it, in short, they just give it a different name with a new law. So if you go from slavery, you go to black codes, you go to Jim Crow, then you go to the penal system. In 1844 was the first privatized prison in Louisiana, right? And 9 years later, what they started doing was making clothes for enslaved people. Then a lot of the other plantations started turning into prisons. Okay. And they helped build. They worked them in the coal mines and they worked them in the railroads. Right.
They still working today, like
absolutely,
even with our phones.
Right. and what do they pay you?
Nothing.
Right. And what does it say in our Constitution? Slavery is legal if what?
If you're locked up.
If you've been convicted of a crime and you are incarcerated. So you still can be enslaved. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. All they've done is now created laws, rules, regulations for you to break. First, they create the poverty. See, they create the destructive situation first, right? Okay. They do the redlining. They flood those red lines. They allow that to be flooded with drugs, right? And then they put up the DARE program, right? Then they put up the DARE program and say, hey, we can't have this. Yeah. Y'all got to stop. Y'all here selling drugs.
But keep doing it, though.
But we keep doing it, right? Keep doing it. Then they go ahead and put we all know about the gun shops, the pawn shops, the abortion clinics that are all around the same block, right? Nothing but destruction. And then they go ahead and allow you to do it, and then they lock you up for it. And then when they lock you up for it, they allow you to you gonna work. You get to work for free. You back in chains.
At the same job that you ain't gonna be able to work
when you get out.
When you get out,
back in chains. Slavery still exists. Welcome to it. You see what I'm saying? And to add on to that, the crazy thing is, we've gotten to a point in our culture where some of us look at that as a badge of honor. I've been to the pen and this,
that, 20.
Right.
Like, fam,
And happy about it.
It's a lot of time.
That's a lifetime.
You know, it can happen in 20 years.
Absolutely. And you asked me something earlier. And I remember you said something about Norfolk, and I know we have always a comparison of the different places. And I don't know. I think we talked about this before. But in our culture, we always have a need to be represented in a negative way.
I remember that.
Right.
Yeah. Shark City.
Yeah. Right. Why? You know, look at everything. Look at every single thing we do. And if you call somebody a square or it's okay, I'll be a square. You know what I'm saying? But if you say somebody is on an up and up, it's almost a negative. If you say, "Oh, you don't drink,"
yeah, it's not respected. I think because we get so used to seeing the negativity and destruction around us, we don't respect the positivity in it.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you said. You know, if I say, just like for example, if I say, "Yo, I'm from Norfolk," or
a gated community.
You see, I'm not gonna tell them that part. I'm gonna just say I'm from Norfolk because I know here. This may make you say, okay, yeah, let me back up a little bit because, you know.
Right. So a defense
you know what I'm
mechanism.
saying? Yeah. Oh, I'm from P-Town. Oh, yeah, they get wild out there. Let me
chill out.
You know what I mean? So I'm not going to test you as much, but,
you
know, like I said, with the right person, though, that means nothing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because we hear it all the time. We see, you know, and not to say it, but, you know, you see the guys come from up north, and it's like, yo, they go down south or come here, and they think that that's going to carry weight, and it doesn't.
Yep.
So, you know, but
and then
in other places it may.
Why do you feel that you always have to be tested by your own people? You see what I'm saying? The defense mechanism is already there. Yeah. The defense mechanism is there because you come out with it, you know, so it's like, oh yeah, you know, I ain't gonna let everybody know I'm from this gated community. Why do we feel that we have to have that defense mechanism up against our own people, that we are going to be tested and that we're going to be pressed, and that we don't have enough confidence to just stand on, 10 toes down, strong, and defend yourself and show and prove?
You got me on that one. What's the answer?
I was asking you.
I don't know, man. I don't know this stuff.
So, you know, I see those things, and you know, that comes with the humility. That comes with preparation is key. I always say that. And as us as an organization, I always, and so I'm not just preaching to everybody else. I do this myself. I train for combat. I train for these different types of situations and scenarios.
You got the dojo now. Speaking of which,
okay, talk to me.
How's that been working out as a married man now? How often do y'all go to the dojo?
Quite often. Yeah. Even sometimes when she gets a little upset, she'll throw the gloves at me. Come on, let's go in the dojo. It's not. It don't count as domestic violence when you have a dojo.
Yeah.
You know. So no,
I'm not responsible for any black eyes that you may acquire after this interview.
I know that's right. So no, it builds tranquility. That's really like her spot where she can go and just, you know, train and practice and be alone, not be bothered. You know, we can go over techniques and strangulation techniques and stuff like that. Sometimes when you just doing the dishes, you know, next thing you know, I'm getting choked and I got to figure out how to get out of it in the middle of the kitchen floor. Yeah, think fast, got you. You know, so it's a constant practice. But we are testing one another. So therefore, you know, when we go out, you know, we get tested. Somebody sneak up on us and say, hey.
You're sitting there like, no, she got it.
Yeah, it's happened before. It's okay. You can deal with it.
Man, she get out these all the time. Watch this.
All right. Watch
this.
Okay. So yeah, you know, it's a beautiful thing, and that's what I also was alluding to with the relationships, when you know, the things that you could be missing out on, and having those real connections and real love, and being able to just have that, what do they call it, like the Cosby Show experience, you know, with you know, Cliff and Claire, you know what I mean? Yeah. Who wouldn't want that? You know what I'm saying? Like, we all grew up, you know, that's it, you know. Yeah.
All right, so I want to go here too, because recently, you know, and this is where we get into the police stuff. You And before you get to the funds thing, I watched the video with the young police officer.
Yeah.
And you called him out and things like that. What caused that whole situation? And since then, has there been any change?
Yeah, that situation, it was a thing where, I don't know what the brother was doing or what he was thinking. He was just kind of, it seemed to me as if he was being more of an antagonist with the situation by just doing, he wasn't doing anything, but he was doing something. It was like, why are you just sitting here watching these folks like that? You know what I mean? They just trying to hang out, chill, do that. They ain't doing nothing wrong. They just kicking it, and you sitting there staring at them, and they just like, dang, ease up. So it was one of them things where, we just spoke to him, and I just had a couple questions for him, like, what are you doing? What's going on? But we seen the brother recently, and he was cool. He was cool, and everybody, sometimes it's a learning curve both ways. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Sometimes I have to learn. Sometimes they have to learn certain different things, and we as black men should be able to check each other and hold each other accountable, and also, like I said, with humility, be humble enough to accept that. A lot of times we can't just sit there and be like, oh, you checking me? Now you want to, whatever. Nah, if you are wrong, you should look inside yourself and be able to say so. And that was that situation. So
okay. And so recently, you did call out corruption and mismanagement of funds in the Norfolk Police Department.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna front. I was looking, I was waiting, I was like, oh, I was in Norfolk. I want to see what's going on.
Oh, it's a lot going on.
So what made you decide to speak about that now?
Yeah, we actually have information.
Okay.
And there's a lot going on with the Norfolk Police Department. We're ready to give that information to the public.
Okay. Well,
we
exclusively here.
Yes. We are waiting for one more thing and one more piece of the puzzle, because what we want to do is we want to give this information to the people, and we know it to be already factual information, but we know some people will want a little bit extra, so we're just waiting for that piece of factual information.
Okay.
And once we find that, then we'll be able to carry on with that. Yeah.
Okay. And so my follow-up to that was, how do you think the corruption inside the police department actually affects like the unity, trust, and safety here? And once again, I had directed it strictly to Norfolk, but I want to make it more broad. How would that affect the community anywhere? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With those kind of things happening.
Yeah. If those that are governed to protect us are in disarray, well, then how are you going to keep the community from being in disarray? If you're out here doing whatever and mismanaging anything or just out here doing whatever you're doing, if these are the things that are going on within the place that's supposed to help the people and serve the people, then you're doing a disservice already to the people, because you're corrupt. So it really harms the community. They would never probably know it, because they wouldn't know the reason, the why, or what. They just know that hey, these police out here doing this, that, and the third. And once that carries on, and the people are they wouldn't know it. They wouldn't know it, because like the stuff that we hopefully will be and I'll definitely talk to you about it. We might have to make this I have to come back again, but
it's always open.
yes, sir. But, it just harms what we're doing and what we're made to do. Okay. If we're made to pay their salary and they're not doing what they should be doing, then what are we doing, and why are we paying for them to do what they're doing?
Gotcha.
We can't pay for them to break the law or do whatever they're doing, right? Yeah.
Well, not supposed to.
Exactly. But we have to. It comes out automatically, right?
Yeah. All right, so You also said the time of reckoning begins today. What should people be preparing for, and what steps should the community start taking to hold leadership accountable?
Yes. So,
buckle my seatbelt for this one.
Yeah. Leadership has to be held accountable. We as leaders can't just do whatever we feel like it. That's once again humility. Okay. Sometimes some of our leaders are only leaders because they've been put there out of desperation. Sometimes it's an individual who, I don't know, maybe didn't succeed in basketball or the rap career or the whatever. I don't know, whatever it was they didn't succeed in, and now they want to. Oh yeah, I can get a lot of looks off of this, that, and the third.
Gotcha.
And they decide to somehow do whatever, whatever they're leading, whatever group it is or whatever. And that does the people no good because you're not there for the real reasons, So I tell people all the time, because what I try not to do is down any black organization. So I tell people, look at the work. Don't just see a person that jump out there, they get a little moment, and next thing you know, you considering them a leader of the people. Look at the constant. Is there a consecutive train of work that you can follow? Do you see actual work? I'm not talking about going online and looking and seeing a bunch of pictures of Malcolm X and Egypt and Dr. Hugh P. Newton and all that. I'm not. That's not work.
Hold on.
You know what I mean?
Got you.
That's not work. I mean, it's great to go out and hand out waters. It's great to go to a food pantry and that's great. But what work are these people doing as leaders?
That's not just a photo op.
Right. It's not just a photo op. What are you actually doing? And is it consistent? And I do understand taking pictures and stuff like that. I get it, because how are people going to know that you are available and you have these different programs and things like that? I get that. But yes, you're right. Some people do it strictly for the photo. And you'll notice because some of them will post photos 10 years ago. They did this.
Leno Brown from Barbershop, you remember?
Yeah. Right. So when you got people doing that, look at the work. You see what I mean? And that's one thing I always look at when we're aligning and uniting with different people and making allies and things of that nature. I look at the work because I want to know: are you truly working for the people? Are you really doing for our black people? Are you out there doing wellness checks? Are you out there serving the people? Are you out there protecting the people? Are you out there giving back to the people? What are you doing for the people? Are you doing something for them? Because it should be a service.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
And now, a follow-up to that was like, as for the people who live in these areas who feel they're not getting that, what should they do? Should they show up to the town hall meetings and things like that, and
feel that they're not getting what?
Whatever it is they're supposed to get from leadership. They feel their communities are, heavily plagued with violence or just not up. Not up to what they should have.
Right. And you're talking about they're saying this to black leadership, right? Not to the government, not to the police, but black leadership.
Yes, and holding the people accountable.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing they should do is hold whoever is in leadership accountable and say, hey, what's going on with this? Like somebody may come to me and say, hey, what's going on with this, that, and the third, right? And I may create and present a plan to them. The problem is when they're involved in the plan, all of a sudden goes away.
I mean, I was just asking what you was gonna do.
Right.
What you wanted me to do.
Yeah. I didn't want to be involved in it.
Whoa, brother.
Yeah, whoa. What you mean? I gotta help? You know what I mean? Like
I got 2 jobs, right?
Yeah, like we don't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean? And see, people think that, I don't know. I think people might be under the impression that we are different than them. Yeah. We are the people. You know, when I first started the chapter here in the 7 cities, I was you, whoever. I was just anybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people don't realize is we are the people. Now we've organized, and see that's where people that makes the difference. Okay. We're not always outnumbered. I mean, we are outnumbered. You know, we're 13%, but we're out organized. And with the 13% of the population, if we're already outnumbered, we cannot afford to be out organized. We're losing twice. So we have to realize the organization is what helps. And when we put this together, we were able to help groups of people. Now, when we come to those groups of people and say, okay, we can get this, that, and the third done. We can accomplish this goal, but we need this as well. And they disappear.
Yeah, because now you're holding them accountable also.
Right.
And
right.
I need your contribution.
Yeah. We don't ask for nothing much. You know, we'll do the heavy lifting, but we do need certain things.
Please.
Yes.
I can't lift it.
Yeah, we can. So it becomes hard. It becomes a very uphill battle, and we end up doing what we can do. But, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got one last question, man.
Last one?
Yeah, last one.
Ooh.
I don't want to hold you too long.
Oh, man, you know I'm always okay with you. You know what I mean? I'm all right.
All right, so what was the one thing you would want people to finally understand about the original Black Panther Party?
Man, that we are regular people. Like you know, that we are regular people. You know, we just have committed ourselves to our people. We're regular people that have committed ourselves to our people and to the goal of furthering our Black culture, our Black people to the next level. That's what we want to do. We want to make sure that our people see a different, well, our kids at least can see a difference. You know, I always tell people that you have people like, of course, Malcolm X, Dr. Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale, Fred Hampton, Marcus Garvey, but these individuals gave their life or a portion of their life, whatever. They put their time in to make sure that we could be here. Who are we to not put our time in as individuals to make sure that our kids can get to that next portion of life and it be a better place to be? So that's the goal of what we would like to do. I don't think in my lifetime we'll see what's needed to be seen, but the Army coming behind it and behind that has to continue. So, okay. Yeah, I want people to see that and know that that's what we're here to accomplish.
Okay. So you know what? I do have one more question about.
All right.
And this just happened while I was listening to you talk. Because you said, you know, y'all are regular people.
Yes.
Now, during this time with the holidays, when you gather around family, does family understand that y'all are regular people? Or is it like, kind of like, you know, when you're the millionaire of the family, everybody, hey, cuz, let me holler at you real quick. And they got something, you know what I mean? Yeah. So what is that like when you get around family? Are they looking and they just like, well, hey, what is your thoughts on this? And everything, you know, they treating it like it's, like, yo, like you not cuz or big bro or whoever, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most of the time, for me at least, you know, yeah, I'm just normal such and such, you know, with me. Yeah, I'm just, you know, I mean, every once in a while there's some questions, you know, different people have different, you know, but I don't know, maybe I'm just used to that, you know, to where it's just like certain things, but for the most part, yeah, it's normal. I talked to my grandmother just not too long ago, and she was like, "Oh, you just mic'd to me," you know, you know. And I was telling her, well, "Grandma, I got this to do," and da 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 da. You know, you just mic'd to me. Okay. You right, Grandma? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, Grandma. So yeah, so I've learned to, you know, that's great, and it feels good to be able to go back to that and just, you know, without having any pressure of questions or somebody needs you to do this, that, and the third, you know. But yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. Now, how about you? because the podcast, hey, everything's jumping. What about you? Because I know you got cousins trying to get on here. I know you got some people trying to put the rap career out in the whole 9 yards.
It's one of those things where it's kind of weird because, matter of fact, prime example, I was just in Florida over Thanksgiving, and my people that bring it up, and one of my younger cousins, he was like, "Man, you got a podcast, man? When this happened?" And I was like, "What?" Like, bro, you only know you. It's been happening the past 6 years. What? Hold on, man. You been. Right. Yeah, I told you like 100 times. Where have you been? You know what I mean? Right. So it's that. And then, you get the, hey, man, you know who you should interview? You should interview my peoples because they do this and do that. And
there you go.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And then it's, man, when you going to come up and do something, man? It's like, look, bro, I'm just me, man. I'm just Mike too, man. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you want me to do? Oh, you favorite cousin. And then I see him with
you favorite cousin. That's all right.
All right, so yeah, I guess it's kind of the same thing. It's just different.
Yeah. No, I get it. I totally get it. And and truthfully, with the Panthers, it might be different for each individual depending on their family. It might be different. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Well, that's all I have here.
We got to give I want to give our condolences
to.
Okay,
let's do that.
Yeah, I want to give our condolences to Brown University. Right, they just had a mass shooting out there. So I believe it was 2 people killed and. Altogether, I think it was a total of 11 people injured. So I want to give our condolences to the families that are affected out there with that. So, yeah.
All right. And well, I guess that's it, people. Oh, before we go, though, one more time, let people know how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, definitely. You can go to www.theoriginalblackpanthers.com, right? That is where the site that doesn't get shut down, that is that is the one to subscribe to. You can follow Zuri Grace Payne. Her page always has everything up there. My page is a little bit slower. It's just Mike Payne. You can follow either one of those pages as well on Facebook. Let me see. And definitely, to make share the content, because when you share the content, that lets us know that. Or lets let other people know what's going on and what's going on in the community. A lot of people don't know that we have chapters here, there, or wherever, or people here, there, wherever that can do certain things, right? So that's one big thing to follow. Also, we have a new thing that we just started, which called Child Rescue.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Panther Child Rescue Network.
Yes, Panther Child Rescue Network, right? Okay. I hope it's not a tongue twister. So what that is, if your child is missing or runs away, and it's only been like within the 24-hour period, you can hit this page up, and we can instantly start looking for that child.
Okay.
Especially if we have people in that city, right? We're pretty much we're kind of filling out how it goes here in the 757 first, but we do have it active in other places. Okay. But especially here in the 757, if your child is missing, you just need to the area, what they had on, all that type of stuff, the information, inbox that site, and we can get somebody looking for them really fast. Because I know a lot of times with the police. I know an Amber Alert sometimes takes a little while.
Yeah, it was like 48 hours.
Right, to get out. Or, and by then, I mean, I could be
halfway to Cali.
Right. Anyway, so, that's just something else that we have put out just to help, because we kept getting inboxes about, our missing kids out here, da-da-da-da. So we always try to put something into play to help the community and do something for it. Also, and if you want to donate, our Cash App is OBPVA. That's Original Black Panther, OPPVA. OBPVA. I'm sorry. OBPVA. You can send it anywhere, ain't you?
No.
OBPVA. Yes. Original Black Panther VA.
Got you. You said OPP, man. I was like, what?
OPP?
That's what you said.
Naughty by nature.
You hear it?
Ooh.
Watch on the playback. Oh, man.
Oh yeah, and we have Shopping with a Panther coming up.
Okay, yeah.
So that's another program.
Okay.
Shopping with a Panther is when we
about to ask you about that.
Yes. It's one of our favorite programs. We take out a child that has lost a parent to violence, and we'll be doing that coming up really soon. So if anybody out there has a child or knows of a child that has lost a parent to violence, please hit us up on those social network sites, or either you can even call in to our headquarters line. That's 757-214-2098, and go ahead and call in and let us know, and we'll get back in touch with you.
Well, y'all missed the gamma drop, man. So how you gonna get in the new J's?
Oh man. Oh man.
Well, look, family. Once again, we appreciate you, man, for stopping by with us. You know what I'm saying? I'm new now. I do my monologues. Hold on, before I go there.
Yeah.
Forgot. Was there anything today that I didn't ask you that you hoped I did ask you, so we can talk about?
No, one thing I really love and respect about your show is you always have good prepared questions and current events and things like that. You have no idea how much that's appreciated in the preparation. So yeah, I thank you. Yeah,
I'm glad you recognize that, because some people almost say I'm kind of like an interview king.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
They don't acknowledge it,
right?
But they do acknowledge it.
Okay.
And I'm just glad that others are starting to see this.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work when you say it yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, just wanted to put that out there. But I do appreciate you, man. This is definitely another powerful conversation with the original Black Panther Party. We talk unity, self-respect, what the gender war, corruption, and this stuff isn't just headlines. These are real issues affecting real people. And we hope you heard, hope your families, the youth, and the community, hope y'all refuse to stay divided. And we hope y'all stay informed to stay together. So once again, it's your favorite cousin, General Mike Payne, national leader of the original Black Panther Party.
Yes, sir.
Signing out as BNT TV.
Right.
Peace.